Hello and welcome to the Kimbley IT Founders Log podcast, where we look back on the previous month of August this time round. Now, it's kind of like a quiet month in the world of IT. Everyone goes away on holiday, and we found that the first 2 months of August were particularly peaceful this year. Very, very quiet, and then it all kicked off at the end of August. It got a lot more busy. Just so happened as you went away on holiday too, Carl.
Yeah, we've learned that lesson. Most people take their holiday at the start of the 6-week holidays, not the last 2 weeks of the 6 weeks holidays. So you cop for it a bit.
It seems, yeah. I didn't know about that. we found out about it this year anyway, for sure.
Yeah, that's it.
One of the interesting parts was that on the day you flew away, the following day, a client got in contact with us to tell us that they'd moved from their landlord supplied broadband to Starlink. It was the first we'd heard of it, and many of their systems needed reconfiguring, which was a bit of a pain. However, we did have a good discussion with the owner of the business afterwards, and we're going to have a meet with them about just giving us some notice beforehand when they're going to make changes like that. So we know, because when you're moving from a broadband provider to another, you've got plenty of time to know when your installation date is, and to let us know so we can get prerequisites done in advance. So everything should be a smooth transition.
Yeah, it was lucky really that we have got another customer that's using Starlink, so I was pretty prepared for what was needed and was able to get in and assist.
From the beach?
Yeah.
You were away on holiday, weren't you?
Yeah, I did that work. I popped up to the room because I took my MacBook with me, so I was all right, and it didn't take too long. But yeah, that's why I took it this time, just in case.
Yeah, it was one of an annoying one as well, because it was to do with IP addresses, and they had a dynamic IP address rather than a static, so it meant that every few days that IP address was changing, and we needed to remote in to change the address on the old bit of hardware they've got that they are actually going to replace, that couldn't handle the changing of IP addresses.
Yeah, I won't go into too much techie detail, but when you use Starlink and you buy the basic service, you'll get your IP address that changes on a regular basis. Therefore, you have to add the blocks into Gmail to allow you to relay email from a scanner to your own email account,
or get a static IP address, which is ideal.
Yeah, it's only £5 more a month. Actually, it's a pretty good deal, really.
Yeah. Well, you get that with all broadband, all basic package of broadband. You're having that. You have a dynamic IP address. You need to upgrade to get a static, which is, for a business, a static IP address is always the most sensible option, because it means you don't have to keep configuring stuff.
The one that's interesting, James, is what you and I both have, is Virgin. I've had Virgin Media here for 9 years, and I've had the same IP address for 9 years. If I reboot the router, I'll get another one. But if I reboot it again, it will flick back to my one. So there's like two they give to me.
No, I've never noticed. I've never. It doesn't affect me, so I've got no idea what my IP address is, and if it's changed or not.
Yeah, over all the times I've used tools and stuff, I've just noticed, it's the same one, this same address every time, and I've kept it for like 9 years. So Virgin's pretty good at keeping you on the same one.
Okay, yeah, didn't know that. And then because August was quite quiet, we had I did. Not sure you were on holiday, but I had a look for businesses that I think could be good partners for us that we could help out.
Yeah,
one's already on Google Workspace, and I've reached out to them, had some conversations. Nothing has converted yet, but they now know Kimbley IT exists, which they didn't know before. So it's a bonus either way. And at some point, some of these may convert if the conversations go any further.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely it, isn't it? It's about being in people's minds and getting to know you. It's networking online rather than physically networking, which are limited to your area. Yeah,
and one of them actually wants to have a video call next month. They've said anyway, just because they're doing stuff this month. But we'll see what happens if that actually happens or not.
Yep.
Content-wise, as it was quiet, I only made one video. But I should have made more videos, but I couldn't because I screwed myself over by going sea fishing in August and getting badly sunburned.
You did.
So I couldn't appear on camera because I was just skin flaking everywhere. Even on the one video I did, there's still a bit of sunburn left.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to do some more videos this month. But I did manage to put out 6 new blog posts because I had some spare time. So one was how to restore a damaged file in Google Drive, and that came about because a client, I can't remember which one, they had a corrupted file in their Google Drive. So what happened is it wasn't a Google file format. It was another program they've been using, and when it saved that file, it saved it wrong or whatever, and that wrong file got uploaded into Google Drive. They had 2 ways that they could do that. Because they're with us, they got backup included in their package. a third-party backup, so we could have pulled it back from the backups. But you've also got the restore functionality inside Google Drive. And depending on how long ago the actual corruption took place, you could use that restore option. And they actually did in this case use the restore option to roll back to a previous version of the file. And they were able to use that and do it. But of course, if it had gone past the time space that you have to restore a file, then they could have fallen back on the backups, but they didn't need to in this case.
Yeah,
that blog post just explains how to use that restore functionality, because a lot of people don't realize it's there inside Google Drive. Then I did another one about how to annotate your screen in a Google Meet. So there's a whole bunch of annotations that have come out of Google Meet. They've been there for a while, but again, it's a thing people don't know. And if you're screen sharing, you get an icon that pops up on screen. It's like a little magic wand icon. And it can give you an invisible ink where you can draw on the screen and then the ink disappears after a few seconds, or you can have permanent ink. You can stick notes on the screen and that. But one of the key features are that no one knows about, even the people that use the annotation feature, is that you can invite other people in the meeting to also annotate on the screen at the same time. So if you've got co-hosts or you've just got somebody else in there that wants to show something, you can enable that functionality for them. And they can either annotate what you're showing on screen, or they can annotate something that they're showing on screen. Yeah,
it's good that the ability to draw on screen in the Meet is good. It's good.
Yeah, I've been using it a bit now.
Yeah, I've seen you when we've done some screen shares. Yeah,
it's just easy to point to, because you're like, when you haven't got it, it's over there, Carl. I'm pointing to get it out with my finger. It's not. But now with the annotation straight through.
Absolutely, you can just draw a big squiggle around it on the screen and go, there it is. That's the bit you want.
I updated a blog post on how to unshare and why you should unshare files in Google Drive. As we know, the biggest, I think it's one of the biggest security flaws maybe with file sharing systems, is that none of them none of them really have a proper expiry date in there. So you share a file and it's just shared forever unless you manually go in and sort it out. We have our own service that we can plug into Google Drive that automatically unshares it. We call it Google Drive File Privacy by Kimbley IT. And that will automatically, you can set a time period and automatically unshare that file. So if you want to have it, say, for every 60 days, a file's being shared for after 60 days, it will be unshared. You can extend that sharing if you want to. But otherwise, that file will just be shared forever, and you might no longer be working with that client anymore, or whoever you shared it with, and they shouldn't have access to that file anymore. But no one ever manually goes in and unshares a file, and it is the biggest security flaw in all these file sharing services.
No, and I wouldn't expect someone to go in and do it, because you simply forget there's too many. Yeah, let's hope one of the big enterprise companies with Google Workspace pushes for this and it gets included, because surely it can't be too hard to add an expiration date in.
There is some way to do expiry, but it's under very specific circumstances on a file that you share out in Google Drive. But it's not it's not in your face. That's something to select to do. So yeah, it gets forgotten about. Then I did updated how to install Google Chat on your computer and mobile device. Mainly because the computer Google Chrome has changed the iconography. That's the word. That they use to show you how to install with the latest version, and our blog version was a bit out of date, so just is mainly to install how to update the screenshots inside that blog post, but also added the whole mobile section as well, because we have a few people that didn't understand how to install Google Chat on their mobile. Updated the video on how to securely share files through Google Drive. So a lot of our clients will share a Google Drive file with an email address that's external to Google Workspace. And there's a way of doing that where the person has to verify that they are actually the owner of that email address. So if I were to send you an email to say, like, your I don't know,
payroll.
Well, to a personal email address, one that's not a Google Workspace.
Oh, right, yes. Okay, yeah.
I could send that to you. You'd get a link. When you click on that link, you then have to click another link to verify you own that email address. When you click that verify you own the email address, it sends a 6-digit code to your email address, which you then have got to cut and paste into there to prove that you actually have access to that email address that it was shared with. And the blog post is used by quite a few of our clients to send out, because they find that a lot of people who receive it don't read what's actually on the screen and think they've got an error and they can't access the file. And I've added some GIFs there that show them exactly what they need to do. And actually, this is the process you need to follow. Because as we know, people don't read the messages on screen and just say there's a problem. When something blocks them from doing what they would expect to do, they don't read what's on the screen and what it's telling you to do. They just go, oh, it's not working, and message back, oh, it's not working. And it is working. You just haven't done what you need to do on the screen.
Absolutely.
Two-step verification is the main one on that. 2-step 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 verification is the ma we find where someone's been blocked access for two-step verification, but they never tell us that. They would just say the password's not working.
Yeah, and it clearly says on the screen your policy, your login does not meet the policy of this organisation for 2FA or some such. But yeah, read the error message.
And then I've done a email. It's just how to open and view EML attachments in Gmail. Yes, so EML is this weird format that Microsoft brought out. It was looking into the history of it. It was because Microsoft, when Microsoft first brought Office out, they couldn't get whole organizations to switch to Microsoft Office. They would only switch certain departments to Office. And of course, Microsoft wants Microsoft Office everywhere. So they made this feature where you can attach an email to an email in Outlook. And at the time, only other Outlook receivers would be able to open that email file. So that's how they spread Outlook throughout these organizations, the enterprise organizations. And still to this day, that feature is still in Outlook where you can attach an email to an email and then send it. Why you do that, I do not know, when you could just forward the original one to start off with. But in Gmail, there is a way to open an EML attachment if you receive one, and you can read it without having to do any funny business with extra programs and things like that.
Yeah.
Finally, I did a post about Google Lens on your desktop. So Google Lens on your mobile phone is where you can press and hold your home button on your Android phone and select anything on the screen with a circle, and it'll do a web search on that. That's now come to Google Chrome. So if you're in Google Chrome on any web page, if you click in the address bar, top right-hand corner, it will say Google Lens. If you click on that, you can then select anything on that page just by clicking and dragging, and it'll instantly do a Google search.
Yeah, it's really good, that.
I posted about that on LinkedIn, and I got some guy come back saying he really loves the site that I did it, the site that we've got. I think because I showed myself scanning a trainer and doing a search on it, but they really loved my site and they were really impressed with what I built. The site was Nike. It was a Nike site in the screenshot. So I was like, well, thanks. Yeah, I didn't build Nike, but I replied back to them, this is where your AI-based auto posting fails.
Yes.
Because it's Nike's website. It's not anything that I've got anything to do with. I'm just using it as an example. I did not build that website, and no, I do not need your SEO services for that website.
Yeah, your rubbish SEO services for sure.
Yeah. And then finally, we'll just go on to the sports statistics for August. So I got contacted 126 times because you were away on holiday.
Yeah.
Out of those, 106 requested assistance where they want to know how to do something better, and in comparison, only 20 asked for support where something needs to be looking at. So how we class it is a complete interaction is from when a subscriber first gets in contact to when they can return to work. Out of those looking for assistance, 91 received a complete interaction which lasted less than 5 minutes. I was on form. I was absolutely smashing them out and getting people sorted. 13 received a complete interaction that lasted between 5 to 30 minutes. One interaction took over 30 minutes, but less than an hour. And then one interaction was an absolute pain in the arse because it took over an hour. And that was because Windows failed to set up correctly on a new laptop. So after I'd done everything, it then buggered on the, it got itself hard coded to the wrong Microsoft account. And I had to rerun the whole bloody process again. And it took ages. What was only going to take like 25 minutes at most, doubled in time. And it took ages because I had to reset the whole thing to start it off again.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And then out of the ones wanting support, 14 received a complete interaction and returned to their work within 5 minutes, and 6 returned to their work within 30 minutes. So all very good. And out of that, we know we have our unique instant messaging service that everyone loves because it's so much better than email ticketing. It's quick, responsive, and fast. And 124 people opted to use that to get in contact with us.
Nice.
2 decided to email, which is always a slower way of doing it, but that's the way it goes. But yeah, that's our recap for August. Well, my recap, because you weren't around. You were on holiday having fun while I was just moaning.
You were. Yeah.
Moaning about bloody printers. Printers always. As soon as you go on holiday, printers just break up.
Yeah.
Decide to break.
They miss me.
However, when you did return, there's about 3 of them that gave you a welcome present back home, didn't they? As soon as you got back, same day, they all decided to break.
Then when the good service is back.
You couldn't fix it, could you? Because there was a proper hardware fault on that one.
Well, I can't fix a fault that's faulty. Yeah, that printer's dead. I said that. Yeah. That's finished, that one, and it is.
It really went for it on that one.
Yeah.
But that's it. Have you got anything you want to add?
No, I don't. I think you've covered everything pretty good there for August, really.
So we'll be back next month with the update.
Yeah, absolutely. Back next month.
Speak to you later.
Bye-bye.